Hi, I'm Chris, the owner of CRE8, and today we want to share with you guys a little bit a show that we are doing in cooperation with IF Taiwan. So we're currently at the IF Taiwan headquarters. I would like to thank them for they gave their space to us so that we can show a little bit what CRE8 is all about. And as you see at the moment, we are on a 3D 60 camera, high definition, so you get a more immersive experience. We would also like to thank the company that made this happen. They are called dpsmart. The camera we're using at the moment is the Rogy 360, very high definition. You guys can move and rotate around so that you get a little bit of a feeling. If you cannot make it to the show, you'll still be there a little bit. So to those two guys, a big thank you. When IF asked us, can you guys hold the show here for us, we thought, yeah, why not? That's a good idea. But rather than just showing finished products, we thought it a little bit boring. You can see those things online too. We're going to show you through the project process at CRE8. So initially I'll show you a few finished products so you know what we are all about. And then later I'll show you some other projects where we show from the beginning to final product what the process is we go through at CRE8 in order to make things happen. So let's go inside. It's okay, you can go, no worries. So to start off, we started with showing some finished products. Why, when people come into the show, they may not know us per se, so then they see, oh, what kind of products does CRE8 make? Sadly enough, we don't have enough space to show everything we do, but you'll see here some gaming equipment, but also bicycle equipment. Some of the larger products that we do, we sadly cannot show today, but we also do bicycles and kitchenware and medical wear, so it's quite diverse product portfolio. I'll quickly pick up something so that you guys can see what we do, because I know in this view it's not that easy. These are some computer gaming mice. We make gaming products. We do a lot of work with Corsair on their input devices, keyboards, cameras, but also cases, headsets. You'll see some of the work later. One that we are also pretty proud about is a new startup company called Mountain. Came to us about 2.5 years ago. And as you see, they developed their first keyboard. And by doing so, they are rated by a lot of gaming magazines as being one of the best top 3 keyboards in the world last year. And to do that as a beginning company, that's pretty cool, and we're very stoked for them. So why is that? It's because it's a very solid keyboard. It's all aluminum milled. It has a console on top that you can put in different areas depending on where you want it to be. This rotary dial has an LCD display inside, and then you also have a module with numpad and media keys that are programmable on top, and you can actually rotate this around, move it to the other side, and depending if you're left-handed or right-handed, or depending on your gaming, you can set up your keyboard that way. Very well received by the market. Completely different. This is a rim that we designed for Cannondale. It's for mountain biking, and the cool part about this one is that it's the first carbon fiber rim that was ever designed, not only for Cannondale, but in the entire industry. So we're very proud. It is now sold under another company, but still very proud. So this is a bit of an overview. Once we move forward, I'm going to show you some projects from beginning till end as we think that could be pretty interesting. Come with me. First one we show here is Cougar. We have a long relationship with Cougar. We've worked for them, I forgot, 5-10 years, to be honest, somewhere in between there. And this is a typical project we have done for them. We've designed all their high-end computer mice are designed by us. And by doing that, we kind of help them establish a design language over years. So by repeatedly working with this client, together with the client, we developed a very strong design language that's very successful for Cougar. So with that, they don't really compete with other game companies in the market, because they have a very strong identity that their followers really like, and they created a fan base. And then for each one you will see we start with numbering 1, how the project starts. So in the case of a mouse, and I'll explain that a little bit more detail later, we start with foam modeling first. I'll tell you why in the next section. Sketching, 3D, fine-tuning, and then here you will see, if you come and visit us at the show, we showed the generation of model making, and then you'll see a very cool equation of how an initial idea, through modeling, ends up to become a final product. Then we have the final product in the box and the final product standing next to it. So you can really see how designers do things. So we thought this is, and you'll see the rest of the show is going to be in a similar platform. We thought we're going to do that because there's a very big misconception that designers have eureka moments. So many people think of us that we go to work, drink coffee, talk all day. At 4 o'clock we look up and go like, ha! I have an idea. Sketch it up, and then we give that to the client. And actually, this could not be farther from the truth. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of steps and iteration, and it's through that iteration process that things get better over time. And what we hope with the show, that we really show this iteration process. This is extremely important. It's not like we sit on a Monday morning and create a finished product. It's months of work to get from an initial idea, together with the client, through iteration to the final product. Okay, some other final products that we show. This is DRAM. We designed for a local company, Thermal Tape, and the other one is G-Skill. This is a new company. We do the product design, branding, packaging is all done by CRE8. So we thought to add that. Before we came to the DRAM industry, actually DRAM was very boring. It was a PC board with chips on there, and yet you had to pay maybe between $500 to $1,000 for DRAM. And again, together with Corsair, we come up with a plan that why can't DRAM look more exciting, more well developed, use materials that are going to help with cooling of the chips. And we built the first DRAM in the world that was actually really worked out as a product that looks cool in any computer case. Since that, of course, other companies have asked us to do the same. We're particularly proud, well, we're proud of all our clients, but the G-Skill DRAM has done very well for them. It's in its 6th year, and they're doing so well that they do not want to change the design, and they keep updating the specs of the product, but not per se the design. So some finished work. I think because it's 360, you guys can still see me right now. Completely different product. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go through the process. And you'll see that in this case, we start with concept sketching, and then later we do modeling in 4. You remember when I showed you the mouse, we start with foam modeling and then do sketching. I point that out again because later it will make sense to you guys. So this is a project we did for Corsair, and it's a very high-end stereo headset. So you see the finished product here, very clean and elegant, very minimalist, and you could say, yeah, okay, nice, but what is so special about it? So the target market per se is very special. So if you look typically to gaming headsets on the market, they look a bit gamey, right? There is LEDs in there, and it looks a bit like, you know, you're in a cockpit of an airplane. With this product, Corsair wanted to really bridge between the audiophile, the person who is willing to spend a lot of money to hear quality music or quality sound, but also does gaming. So we styled up the design. We made it more elegantly, more minimalist, but sadly enough, you guys cannot feel it. It's all made in aluminum, excuse me, in aluminum, 1, 2, 3, aluminum. And it's milled, it's afterwork. If you see, there is diamond cut edges on all the aluminum parts. It feels quite solid. It's all made out of metal, no plastic parts, hence to enhance that feeling of quality music. It's not the cheapest of headsets because of that, but that's the goal that Corsair is wanting to that. How did we get there? We go first to sketching, 2D proposals, 3D proposals, foam prototyping for the ergonomics. So we make prototypes, you'll see they look kind of a little bit paper made up, but this is extremely important. So we need to understand very early in the project what the form factor is going to be, and does it fit on as many head sizes as possible? Are there things that are not working? Is there sharp edges? And that's what you do with this kind of a process. So if I have a little bit of beef with 3D, you'll see that a lot of our products show 3D software. 3D software is great, and it's an amazing tool for designers, but the problem with 3D is that too many people are just developing products on screen. And it all looks nice on a 2D flat screen, and everything looks great. And they go into development, they make a working prototype, and I'm very late in the process, they go like, "Oi, that's not what I expected." And that's because they didn't have a tangible physical feel of what the product really looks like. So at CRE8 we do it still differently. Yes, we work with 3D, but we will make very quickly, very early in the process, we'll make rough prototypes so that the clients get an understanding about, you know, what is the proportional scale. You cannot see that on a 2D screen. On a 2D screen, everything looks great, the size looks great, but the moment you see the scale, we've had it in both ways where the client goes, well, too big or well, too small. We have to work on that. And if you have to do that after 3 or 4 months development, that's a very costly proposition. If you do that 2 weeks in a project or 1 week in a project, it's a normal process, and it actually does not cost any time or effort to do so. Hence, those models, very important for good product development. To show you again, I'll wait until you guys are here, to show you again that we also do another group of products. CRE8 set up a company in Shenzhen, China in 2017. And this is one of the Chinese clients we are working with. And they do LED lamps. And the process is similar, right? Sketching, 2D rendering, 3D rendering. Again, as I said earlier, prototyping. Many companies don't do that anymore. So we will make very initial, it's very fragile, I can't move it too much, but fragile paper models, very quick, it's a day or two work, and then you can see already what the final product is going to look like in 3D in real time. On a screen, simply not possible. On a screen, it will look great, but you don't know how big it's going to be. This is the final product for them. They've launched this last year, and it's hugely successful. It's also the first time for the company in China that they can move beyond China. So this is being sold worldwide. It's successful both in Europe, US, and China, and they're very proud about that. So since that first lamp project, the relationship with that company in China has grown quite a bit, and we're working on several other exciting products with it. So I told you, and you hear me saying already, modeling is important. So we have at CRE8 they can see that area too here, right? So we have at CRE8 a modeling room still where we make models. We kind of like imitate the look of it a little bit here on my right side, your left side probably. And what we do in that model room is really doing those tests. What is proportion? What is scale? How does it feel in my hand? How does it rotate? Is everything according in order? So nothing that is made in that model room looks great. It's all rough and it's all research and iteration. The final model, we go outside, and there's a lot of companies in Taiwan that are specialized in making appearance or working prototypes. This is done internally. Why do we do it internally? It's because when my designers are making these models, they're still designing. So they're making this model and they're going to feel, I need to, it looked great on rendering, but I need to change this a little bit. That looked great on rendering, but I need to modify that. That's still part of design. And then you'll see on your right side a whole wall of, this is, if I'm being honest, this is probably 3 mice projects, 2 to 3 mice projects. So that is the iteration we go through before we come to a final product form. And I said in the beginning, when we did the first section there, I said, okay, in the case of mice, we do foam prototyping first, and then we do sketching, 2D, 3D, and final products. And the reason for that is whenever you have a handheld product, at CRE8, we feel you should evaluate our concept proposals with actual form in your hand. I mean, on rendering, everything looks great. But if it's a handheld product, you should feel from day one, how is this probably going to feel in my hand? Does that feel comfortable? Is it ergonomically correct? Nothing more so than with mice. So when we present mice products or handheld products to our clients, we show foam models, and the visuals, the 2D work and the 3D work is there to support the foam models, not the other way around. So in other projects, when you see the lamp that I showed you before, the prototypes are there to support the visuals, right? Everything is detailed on 3D, very beautiful, and then they can, you know, have a real world test with the rough prototype. With handheld products, it's the other way around. You show these because that is what you need to know first. It feels good in my hand. And then you look at the visuals and go like, okay, it looks cool, feels good in my hand. That's the one we're going to develop. So a little bit of an insight there. And this could go far. I mean, you could say simple thing like scissors, right? This has been around for many years. Again, we had a scissor project not too long ago. We went through 20, 30 different versions of scissors in models before we even started sketching up what we wanted to do with the final product. So, view of the model room, I already talked a little bit about that. And all the models you see here, they're all done in this model room. Okay, let's look at another product. So far you have seen smaller products at CRE8, so we don't have a lot of space here, but we opted to also show you a little bit that we also do big products, and it goes as big as a bicycle design. We don't have cars yet, maybe one day we can do that, but the biggest we have gone at the moment is, you know, the size of a bicycle program. This is again for Cougar, a very high-end computer system. Actually, when Cougar came to us, they had the idea and they said, hey, what if we put two computer systems together and we make one like huge computer out of it? We combine them so you have double the power of your other computer. How would that visually work out? So we started again with sketching and ideation, and then we came up with concept proposals. And you see here, the concept proposals are very crazy because nobody had ever done that in the gaming industry. Nobody had in the gaming industry ever put two computers together. So we needed to test form factors very wide, right? So very broad. It could be many different things. And then both, together with the client, we came down to the model that you see there. We worked that again through a modeling process. Does the form, does the proportion, does it all work to the final product that you see here? Cool part from an innovation point of view is that when we put the two systems together, heat is the biggest problem. You double the heat generated by the gaming computer, and heat in gaming computers is a big issue. So we came up with kind of like a tunnel effect where we draw in air from the bottom, and the air actually flows in between the two systems and is pushed out at the top. We call it a chimney, and we cool naturally the product through product design. Not only with fans, but also with the way the product is structured, you actually get natural cooling on top of the cooling by fans and such. Okay? Something again very different. This is an American startup company. They're called Virtuix. They came to us about, I'm going to say, 5 years ago. And what Virtuix had in mind is that, look, you know, that was at the beginning of Oculus. So you remember everybody was starting to talk about the 3D environment and, you know, how can we get this hyper-realistic environment to play games in. And Virtuix came to us and said, look, you know, here is our idea. We want to make a treadmill for Oculus. So until then, the 3D experience wasn't totally immersive. You put on your Oculus glasses, and then the next thing you need to do is sit down because you can't see. And that sitting down is not 3D immersive, right? Standing up and walking around and running and rotating and shooting, that is. But if you do that with an Oculus in your living room, you're going to break a lot of stuff, including maybe an arm or a leg. So what we did is we came up with a treadmill solution for them that you can go standing, put the gear on, you can run around, you can shoot, you can look them up on the internet. Pretty cool product. So you get a totally immersive experience when doing so. When Virtuix arrived at CRE8, they had the idea. As a startup company, they had done some design already, but we very quickly realized that, look, this product doesn't work. I mean, you need to think about the human factor aspect of things, where if this is a big 6-foot guy like me with a bit of a, like me, or a small kid, and they both play in this product, it needs to be safe. So we had to re-engineer, redesign, a lot of testing. This project took about a year to make, to see that it's safe for any person to go standing and play games. And I can tell you, these guys don't play ping pong or tennis in this hardcore shooting and running and jumping, and so it needs to be very strong in order to see that you don't get any accidents nonetheless. Equally important, we did not have any other product in the market that we could look at to learn from, right? So what we do as designers, Picasso said it the best artists copy. When we design a product, normally we look what products were made in that category before, and what did they do right, what did they do wrong, what can we improve on what happened before. With this project, we couldn't, it had never been done before. So we really had to think from the ground up, and we had to learn through iteration again, through making prototypes that works, that doesn't work. So very cool and very exciting. The other side of this area, you'll see some of the visual design that CRE8 does. So we started CRE8 21 years ago. It was a pure product design company, and very early in our existence as a company, our clients started asking, "Oh, can you also help with the user manual?" And then we went, "Oh, can you also help with the box? And can you also help with the product logo and the product branding?" And that grew into a team that does now full company branding for clients. So we do on different levels. We do company branding, product branding, user interface design, packaging, I'll show you a little bit later, anything that has to do with visual design. We do animation for our clients, and because we designed the products, we know what the core values are of the product, and our clients really think that's cool because you bring that back in the box. If we have a design house doing a product design, and then we do a graphic design house, does the branding house does not know what the intention was of the product design team, and you'll lose some of that feeling it's built all together. So you'll see later, for instance, in our packaging, we'll bring really the spirit of the product back, and that is very helpful to our clients. So it's a projector at the moment. It's going through quite a lot of different projects, which should be interesting. So I was talking about, these are some packages. Again, gaming clients, lifestyle products, medical products. I'll go quickly. So for instance, this is the game. You saw earlier I held up a keyboard in the air that I said we did this for Mountain. We also help Mountain with the packaging of the product. And you get this very high-end, oh, it's glued at the moment for the exhibition, but it's kind of like an experience. The box is closed, then you open it, and some of the sketches that we did when we did product design, they're present here, because Mountain is very proud that they built the product from the ground up. What does that mean? They didn't go to a factory and say, give me a keyboard and I'll put my logo on it. This happens a lot, sadly enough. So Mountain said, no, we built this from the ground up. We want to explain that to our clients through the packaging too. So we did that by having some of the early sketches of the product on the package inside. And then you have this element of surprise when you open it, a little bit of a wow factor, story from the CEO of the company, and then a drawer underneath with all the other components. So you get a very nice presentation of what things look like. Very successful. I mean, the package almost gets equal views online than the product does. So we translated that also to the keyboard, the mice, the other products that we are working with. Again, medical equipment, very different. I don't know my time. Do I still have time? So very quickly. So this is a medical company, and they make injection pens. Injection pens for people that have a variety of diseases. And the problem was this client came to us by now already almost 7 or 8 years ago, and they asked us, can you redesign our package portfolio? And then we looked at what injection pens look like on the market and what their packages, and it's all very much doomsday, medical, you're gonna die. It all looks very depressing and very serious, and you have a big disease, and here is this package. And then we did some focus group studying, and we learned that actually the people that use these injection pens, they start using them at a very young age, and they have to use them for the rest of their life. They know exactly what disease they have, and they also don't want to be reminded every day, oh yeah, I know, I have a problem. So we didn't make the package playful. That wouldn't be right either. But we didn't make it so doomsday, so serious, because these people have to use that every day. Another thing that we found, that was a side effect we didn't know, but that's an appreciation that we learned afterwards. People started thanking the company. They said, we're so happy with this package because it looks quite neutral, and we appreciate that. And we went, oh, that's interesting. Why? Well, we failed to see that most of the time they need to store these packages in the refrigerator. And every time somebody in the family opens the refrigerator, they're reminded about, oh yeah, somebody in our family has a disease. With this neutral packaging, it didn't look so, they weren't so embarrassed. Or if somebody comes and visits and takes a drink out of the fridge, they wouldn't say, oh, what is that medical stuff doing? It looks like a normal package. So that was a cool side effect that we didn't see from that. So that's a little bit about the show that we're doing for together with IF here today. I hope the 360